Hello and welcome to Butcher Meets Chef. I'm Greg Medel from Medel Brothers Quality Meats. If you're like me and love cooking outside and you just ran out of ideas and you can't figure out what to do next, I'm bringing in a professional to help you with some quick ideas. This is Robert Catherine, Chef Robert Catherine. How you doing?
Good. Good to see you. Thanks for inviting me. Beautiful setup here.
Nice. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm all about local foods, keeping things fresh, and making recipes that work. So we're going to do some brine chicken thighs. I rather use thighs. They're juicier. The meat's better, I think, than chicken breasts. We have them brined here. We've already done it for 24 hours. We're going to show you how to make the brine. It's simple.
Nice.
Garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of salt, 3/4 a cup of paprika, 3/4 cup of chili powder, cracked pepper. I always crack a little bit ahead. I never buy it already cracked. Because then it loses its spice and its flavor. So that's 3 tablespoons of fresh cracked pepper, Montreal steak spice, 1/3 cup, and then we have 64 ounces of warm water. Just going to pour that in there. And the reason for the warm water is we want the chicken to marinate. So if it's cold, it's not going to work that well,
And
right?
the warm water helps the spices blend.
Yep, exactly, and penetrate the chicken.
Yep.
Now we're going to show you how to do the thighs. So you can see here, it's got a little bit too much fat, so we'll just trim that off and pitch that. We could also save that for stock. But we have the bone here, and we're just going to take our paring knife and we're going to trim along the side of the bone. And what that does is when you're cooking it, you know, sometimes you get that blood around the bone.
Yeah, absolutely.
This prevents it. So we just kind of put our finger through it.
And help cook it a little faster too.
Yeah, and it cooks probably about 10 minutes faster.
Yeah,
so then we just plop them in the marinade. So now, room temperature for 1 hour, and then in your fridge. Now, you can, if this fits in your fridge, you can just cover it and put it in your fridge, or you can put them in bags, right, and then put them in your fridge. Depends on your size. So we're going to set these off to the side. Yeah, and we're just going to take the chicken out.
I'll let you do that since your hands are already...
And you can see how the chickens change color, right? Like that's a good example here of, you can see how it's really, right? The brine is really soaked in, and that's what you're trying for. You're putting all that flavor in there.
Flavor's right through there.
And the salt will also add some moisture into your chicken so it won't get dry. Now we're just going to put them on a tray. Right, you want to dry these a little bit before you put them on the barbecue.
So drying helps what?
It becomes crispier. It doesn't flare up, right? Both sides.
So we don't have to season them again, or
nope, that's it.
So ready to go.
Ready to go. Just so we get a nice crispy skin. I got a little spray bottle here. 3/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Don't use olive oil because the particulates will jam the spray end. And you just spray them, and then they're ready to go on the barbecue.
Yep, I can do that. Yep. So I set the barbecue up for indirect cooking. Charcoal on one side, and the chicken's going to go on the other. And I don't think we even have to flip these, do we, Robert?
Nope, just like that. And I brine everything I'm going to barbecue. Except if I'm going to do a brisket or something like that, Greg. I think brining really adds to the juiciness and the flavor of anything you're doing on the barbecue. Pork chops are great with this recipe. Chicken.
So we're going to close that, and I would think that's probably going to take about an hour, do you think?
Yeah, 45 minutes to an hour. Because we did the bone, it might be a little bit less.
Less. Okay, perfect. We'll check on it in a bit. All right, we're back, and Chef Rob's going to teach us how to cook pasta the right way. Apparently, we're doing it wrong. So let's see the right way.
And I don't want to offend anybody, but and I buy only the Kettle. That's all I use. Water's boiling. For every quart of water, tablespoon of salt. Put the pasta in. Simple. Give it a stir. We're going to bring it back to a boil. We're going to boil it for 2 minutes. And then we're going to take it off and let it sit for 12 minutes. Pasta, perfect every time. Never sticks. Never a problem. That's how you got to do pasta.
You know, that's a good idea for in the summertime. You want to cook pasta and you don't want to heat your house up with boiling water. Boil it, turn it off, and let it sit. Doesn't heat your house up. Perfect.
And perfect every time.
When we come back, you'll show us what you're doing with that. the noodles are pretty much ready. The
Yep.
chicken is done. It's been, actually it took less than I thought, 45 minutes, eh?
Yeah.
Perfect.
When you take that bone and clean it, it
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Awesome. You're gonna make a sauce, vegetarian sauce for us.
So we got some local peppers here. We got red, green, yellow. And I'm just gonna show you, we wanna cut them. And we don't wanna use any of this pith, it's called. And that's that white stuff here, right? We don't wanna use that because it's bitter. So I've just trimmed them. You can see I've trimmed them here like this. So same goes for the, I got a jalapeno pepper in there for spice. And if you're doing this at home, you know, you want to use gloves because if you touch your eyes or other things, they could burn, and that's not good sometimes. Again, with the jalapeno peppers, the vein is heat. The seeds are heat. So if you like the heat,
keep them in. If you don't, take them out.
So we'll just put a few in there because we like a little bit of heat.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to put these through the food processor. I'm just going to blitz them a little bit at a time. Onion, zucchini, and peppers.
This is a vegetarian dish?
Vegetarian. And we got the chicken.
We have the chicken.
Yep.
So
this is also gluten-free.
Right.
Dairy-free. And we're just going to pulse it just for a few minutes. And what happens is you get the moisture out in the vegetables, and so it'll help with our sauce right down the road when we're making it. So we're ready to go. So I got our pan here, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I got some fresh chopped garlic, 2 tablespoons. We're going to saute that. We're going to let that sizzle. And we don't want to let this go too far because the
burn that garlic.
Yeah, and you don't want to burn the garlic. So now we're going to add all our vegetables.
Take that.
Yeah, we're just going to scrape all that in. Perfect.
So this is going to be a red sauce?
Red sauce, yep. Okay. So I have some of my homemade canned tomatoes. And now you can use diced tomatoes.
Right.
Or the seasoned diced tomatoes.
Yeah, if you buy them, you just use diced.
Or crushed tomatoes.
Diced, yep. And that's what you spend a lot of your time now. As you're retired, you do a lot of that stuff at home, right?
And we were talking earlier with the camera crew and everything, and like they started talking about work, and I got a little scared.
I don't want to work
I got
anymore.
scared because so I like making things and sharing. Right. So so I got to meet you, and now I'm doing this. So
that's right. So how long does that simmer for?
Oh, not very long.
Nope.
So we let this cook for 2 or 3 minutes. Right. And now we're just going to add the tomato sauce, and the tomato sauce is all seasoned. I have salt and pepper in there, oregano, basil.
Ready to rock, eh?
Yep.
That looks delicious. And we want to get a little bit of that moisture out too, right?
Yep, we're going to cook it a bit. Now we're going to take cornstarch.
Oh, that'll thicken, yeah.
And water. Now we have some fresh cracked pepper here. Right. Just for flavor, maybe a teaspoon. Now we're going to deal with the pasta. So boiled it for 2 minutes, let it sit for 12 minutes, right? So now we're going to drain it, and we have a bowl under here. Now we want to save
a little bit of pasta water, right?
Yep, because we want some of that starch. And I got a handy little, nice little pot.
Oh, that's convenient, that dish.
Yep. And you want to get all the water out you can, so give it a shake. You can see here, now the reason we like using these like rigatoni or something with holes is all the sauce is going to go in there, right? So we have that here. We're going to put a tablespoon of oil, a cup of Parmesan cheese, and I like fresh grating it, so I use the microplane, right? In that goes.
And you add it to the noodles, not the sauce, right?
Correct. About 1/4 cup of the water.
So that pasta water has got a lot of starch in it, which is going to help adhere.
Yep, and it's gonna make it thicker.
Yep.
And this is how they do the pasta in all the clubs, right? This is.
Yep. You can eat that like that if you'd like it.
Yep. That's how my grandson likes it, just like that. He calls it regular.
Yep.
So this is boiling. We got our cornstarch, 1/2 cup of water, 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And we're just going to mix this with my hand so I get all the lumps out of there. Cornstarch you always add to the boiling liquid, so now we're just going to add, and you see how fast this goes.
Thickening up already, yeah?
Yeah.
Beautiful. It almost looks like a blush sauce.
Yes, yep.
Yep.
This is the secret. You take maybe a cup of sauce. You're going to stir that in.
Get that all stuck
Yep.
to the pasta.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
And you're just going to cover that. Perfect. We'll set that over here. And we're just going to let this come to a boil. And now we're ready for the good part.
Serving the dish, eh?
Yeah.
Getting it all ready.
So I got some fresh chopped parsley. Just going to add that. We're going to just give it a taste.
Yep. Check the salt content.
Yep.
Right?
And I watch my salt, but that tastes pretty good. You want to give it a try?
Sure.
And it's got a little bit of heat from the jalapeno in there. But it tastes nice and fresh, eh?
Absolutely. Really good.
So now you can see how the sauce is adhered to that.
That looks fantastic already.
There we go. Now we'll put a little bit of sauce, and then we'll grab the chicken.
Yep, that chicken's been on for 45 minutes. Definitely is done and looks beautiful, and it did cook faster the way you did that with the bones. Perfect.
And we have a little knife there, a paring knife. Why don't you cut that, Greg, in half so people can see inside?
For sure.
You'll see when you take that bone away, you see the difference. It's not pink in there.
Beautiful.
See how that looks?
Is
And it's nice and juicy.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. And we'll just throw another one on there. And then I have some roasted garlic and red pepper flakes.
Dress up that plate. Looks
A little
awesome.
bit of pasta, or parsley, and that's it.
I wouldn't complain if I got that in a restaurant, that's for sure.
So there you have
beautiful.
Vegetarian pasta with barbecued brined chicken.
Nice.
All
Beautiful.
set, yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming
I'm
out.
going to punch out because my hands are a little dirty.